When we talk about real love, we're not just speaking in metaphors or poetry. We're talking about measurable biological processes in the brain and body. Love, particularly when it's healthy and mutual, activates specific neurochemical systems that regulate our emotions, decision-making, and even immune function. Chief among these chemicals are oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. Oxytocin, often referred to as the bonding hormone, is released during moments of trust, physical touch, and emotional connection. It's what helps form that sense of safety and belonging between two people. Dopamine, part of the brain's reward system, gives us a sense of pleasure and motivation when we're around someone we care for deeply. Serotonin, meanwhile, contributes to overall mood stability, helping us feel grounded and emotionally balanced in a secure relationship. But here's where the science becomes crucial. When a relationship is causing consistent emotional pain, those same systems are disrupted. Instead of oxytocin and serotonin, the brain begins to release stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. The shift moves the body into a state of chronic stress, hypervigilance, and confusion. In other words, if a relationship constantly makes you anxious, fearful, or unsure of yourself, what you're experiencing isn't love, it's the neurobiology of stress. Real love doesn't hurt because love, by its nature, is a regulating force. It's not about constant highs and lows. It's about a steady, calming presence that enhances your biological and emotional well-being. Understanding this helps us recognize that pain isn't a necessary ingredient in love. It's often a signal that something isn't right. It's common to confuse attachment with love, but they are not the same, and understanding the difference is essential to knowing your worth in relationships. Attachment is a biological survival mechanism. From infancy, our brains are wired to form bonds with caregivers to ensure safety and support. This system continues into adulthood, driving us to seek closeness, reassurance, and connection. However, attachment can form even in environments that are unpredictable, chaotic, or harmful. When someone treats us well one moment and then withdraws or causes pain the next, our brain doesn't necessarily reject the bond. It often strengthens it, creating a feedback loop known as intermittent reinforcement. This pattern is powerful. It's the same mechanism that fuels addiction, where inconsistent rewards trigger intense focus and craving. In a relationship, this can feel like passion or obsession, but neurologically, it's stress and uncertainty fueling the connection, not love. You find yourself chasing moments of affection or clarity, tolerating long stretches of emotional discomfort just to get a brief sense of validation. It becomes difficult to leave because the brain mistakes the emotional roller coaster for deep connection. True love doesn't rely on unpredictability to feel intense. It's not built on anxiety or the need to constantly prove your worth. When we understand that attachment can exist without love and that love can exist without painful attachment, we gain clarity. Real love doesn't exploit your nervous system's need for connection. It honors it. It gives consistency, mutual care, and peace. That distinction is vital. Being attached to someone doesn't mean the relationship is healthy. Recognizing this truth is the first step toward choosing relationships that align with your emotional and biological well-being. Our sense of self-worth isn't just an abstract idea. It's deeply rooted in the nervous system. From early in life, the way we're treated by caregivers and the environments we grow up in shape our internal model of value. If we're consistently seen, heard, and respected, our nervous system learns to associate connection with safety. We develop a baseline sense of worthiness that becomes our emotional foundation. But if we grow up around unpredictability, criticism, or neglect, our nervous system adapts to that as well, often by internalizing the belief that love must be earned or that our value is conditional. These early patterns don't just disappear as we get older. They continue to influence how we interpret relationships, how we respond to conflict, and how we tolerate mistreatment. When we're in relationships that mirror these early dynamics where we feel we have to prove our value or accept inconsistency, our nervous system doesn't see it as wrong. It sees it as familiar. And familiarity, even when it's painful, can feel safe to the brain. That's why so many people stay in relationships that hurt. They don't lack strength. Their nervous system has been trained to equate stress with connection. But the nervous system is not fixed. It can be rewired. Through awareness, regulation practices, therapy, and healthy relationships, we can teach our system a new pattern. When we start setting boundaries, honoring our emotional needs, and surrounding ourselves with people who respect us, the nervous system gradually shifts. It begins to see calm, respectful connection as the norm rather than the exception. This isn't just psychological, it's physiological. Real self-worth shows up in the way we breathe, the way our heart rate responds to stress, and the way we engage or withdraw in relationships. Learning to know your worth isn't just about confidence, it's about regulating your system so that it stops accepting harm as love. You feel calm around the person. You don't have to overthink every interaction, worry about being enough, or fear the loss of connection every time there's a disagreement. But when your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight mode, trying to decode mixed signals, manage emotional highs and lows, or compensate for a lack of stability that's not passion, that's dysregulation. The pain you feel is your body telling you that something isn't safe, consistent, or respectful. Passion, when it's healthy, comes with excitement, yes, but it also comes with trust and mutual presence. It energizes you, not depletes you. It makes you feel more like yourself, not less. The idea that pain proves the depth of love is rooted in confusion between emotional volatility and emotional truth. Real love doesn't require you to be in a constant state of emotional repair. It doesn't leave you guessing. If you're consistently hurting, it's not evidence of how much you love someone. It's evidence that your values, needs, or nervous system are not in sync with the environment you're in. Listening to that pain isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Real love has a very clear effect on the nervous system. It regulates it. When you are with someone who truly loves and respects you, your body experiences a sense of safety and calm. Your heart rate slows, your breathing becomes steady, and your mind can focus without distraction or fear. This regulatory effect is crucial because our nervous system is always scanning for threats, and when it feels safe, it allows us to be fully present and engaged. In relationships where love is dysregulating, the opposite happens. You might feel anxious, hypervigilant, or emotionally exhausted. Your nervous system is stuck in a state of heightened alertness, never quite settling into peace. This kind of relationship drains your energy, reduces your ability to think clearly, and can even impair your physical health over time. Real love is built on predictability, trust, and mutual care, elements that provide a steady rhythm to your interactions. It doesn't mean the absence of conflict, but rather the presence of safety in how conflicts are handled. When love is regulating, you grow stronger, more resilient, and more connected to yourself and others. It expands your capacity to feel joy and fulfillment rather than shrinking it. Knowing your worth means recognizing that you deserve relationships that regulate your system rather than dysregulate it. It means choosing connection that fuels your growth and well-being, not relationships that leave you emotionally depleted. Real love supports your nervous system's natural balance, and through that nurtures your whole being. This understanding shifts how you approach love, not as something to endure or survive, but as something that should elevate and sustain you. In closing, understanding real love means recognizing that it is a force that supports and nourishes both our mind and body. Love is not supposed to hurt or cause chronic stress. Instead, it activates pathways in our brain that bring safety, trust, and joy. It's important to distinguish between attachment driven by uncertainty and trauma and love built on consistency and respect. Our nervous system holds the blueprint for how we experience worth and connection, and by tuning into how our body responds, we can learn to set boundaries and seek relationships that truly honor us. When pain becomes a constant companion in love, it signals misalignment, not passion. Real love regulates our nervous system, making us feel calm, secure, and whole. Knowing your worth means refusing to settle for anything less than this. You deserve relationships that elevate you, protect your well-being, and help you grow. Real love doesn't hurt. Real love heals.